What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about National Lampoon's Van Wilder. I'm really excited to talk about this one because this movie, this is a favorite of mine. Um, I rewatch this movie like every few years, and I'm telling you, this movie never gets old. Like, just watched it again, and it was like as good as the first time I watched it. Like, I was just like feeling great. Like, I feel like this movie has a lot of heart. Like, it's you know it's a comedy. Um, it's a college movie. There's a lot of that gross out comedy stuff. Like the slapstick. A lot of stuff like from like you know like that era was like the gross out sex comedy. But I feel like this movie does have a lot of heart. It has a nice story, a nice feel good story. Like I feel like I feel like it doesn't get credit for that. You know what I mean? Like, of course, yeah, it's just a comedy, but I don't know. I feel like this movie has like a little bit more going for it. I'm not saying it's like, some serious drama and it's the most like uplifting story, but I'm saying for a comedy and for a comedy like this, like a college gross out sex comedy, I feel like it has more heart than people would think, and you know it has a better story than people would think. But yeah, like I said, I watch this movie every couple years. Um, I would always watch it when I was younger. I would always catch it on TV. Every time I would catch it on TV, I would watch it. Nowadays, I own it on DVD. Um, it's one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite National Lampoon movies. Of course, I'm a fan of a ton of National Lampoon movies. Of course, you got the classics like you got Vacation, you got Christmas Vacation, you got Animal House. All those are super solid classics. But honestly, this is probably my favorite National Lampoon movie. I don't know. This is just the one that I watched the most when I was younger. I don't know. I I kind of resonate with it the most. Like, that's what I like. Like Van Wilder, he's kind of like a he's kind of like a slacker. He's not doing the best in school, and but he's still like likable. It's like I don't know. I like a lot of college movies from the 2000s. They kind of have that slacker vibe. Like Slackers is good, and then Accepted. That's super good as well. But all those are like relatable if you're not like the best student ever, which I am. Which I am not the best student ever. I mean, nowadays I'm like a little bit better, but yeah, back in the day I was not killing it like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just always this story like it always made me feel good because I mean like a lot of people in school, like you see that like all the time. Like a lot of people, leave school for a little bit, then they come back, or they're like working and they're like part-time school. Like a lot of people don't just like graduate in 4 years. So I, like if you're one of those people, I feel like you can definitely relate to this. And I mean, Van Wilder's just a relatable guy. Like it's he's kind of a unique character because he's like the king of the school, super charismatic, super smooth, super likable, but he's not like he doesn't act like he's better than everyone than anyone. He's like cool with everyone, like, and he like genuinely wants to help people. He wants to like make the school the best that it can be, and like a lot of time like he's not even worrying about himself that much. He's worrying about, like, he wants the basketball team to win. He wants, people to show up uh, for the swim meet, and he wants to, like, get like a good crowd and get the people going. And then there's this fraternity that it's of guys. It's like it consists of guys who, they're going pretty hard academically, but they're a little bit nerdy, so they're like, having trouble with the ladies. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna throw you a party. I'm gonna help you out with the ladies. Like, he does accept money for that, but he was telling Gwen, the reporter, like, yeah, like, they offered me the money, and I'm trying to pay my tuition, but he's like, I mainly did it because I wanted to help those guys. He's like, those guys are cool, like, people need to see that. So, like, I mean, he's just like a super genuine, like, cool character. He like, cause I don't know, a lot of times in movies, like, you see someone who's like cool and charismatic, but they're just like shitting on the little guys. Like, he's trying to, like, help the little guys, help the underdogs, help everyone, like, get the school in tip-top shape. So I don't know, I respect that. Like, I feel like you don't see a lot of characters like that, and that makes them, like, way more likable, in my opinion. All right, so I was just kind of rambling there a little bit. I was just gonna say, like, kind of my history with the movie, and that I like it a lot. Like, I love this movie, but I'm just gonna get into some other random stuff. I mean, I kind of touched a lot of stuff that I wrote down. Yeah, like I said, like I touched on a little bit, like, this is kind of in the same vein of other movies that came out around this time, like American Pie or Road Trip. It's like the gross out sex comedy. So a lot of the comedic gags, it's more like physical comedy, more like slapstick, gross out stuff. Like, I mean, one of the most iconic sequences, like, so he's got this, like, little, like, dog, and his dog just has, like, some huge testes going on, like, abnormally huge. And then this Gwen's boyfriend, who's just an absolute a-hole, they hook his fraternity up with these donuts, and the cream is actually the dog's cream, if you know what I mean. So that, it's like in the same vein of stuff like, American Pie, where he's, sticking his thing in the pie, or like Road Trip, where Sean William Scott's character is getting, he's getting how do I say it? They're shoving the finger up there for his little donation situation. So it's that type of comedy. He, like, he gets with this, like, super old lady, because he's trying to, like, he thinks it'll, like, help him stay in school. And then, like, Cal Penn's character Taj, like, he's trying to do these massage oils, and he catches on fire, jumps out the window. So it's like a lot of physical comedy, which I'm a fan of. I like slapstick, and I like this era. So it's like it fits with the whole era. I mean, the thing with the donuts was pretty funny. It was disgusting though when they were actually eating them, but I mean, that Gwen's boyfriend was just a total a-hole, so it was, like, super satisfying. But yeah, it's that type of comedy. And that's the thing too, like, there's, like, a lot of, like I said, I was talking about Accepted, which came out a couple years after this, but, like, I like this era of movies, like the late 90s to 2000s, like, gross out sex comedies or college movies. Like, I'm just a huge fan of college movies in general, and I think this is a super solid college movie. And I feel like it's one that, like, doesn't get talked about as much. I mean, I feel like this movie has a ton of fans, but I feel like in movie discussions, when you talk about, like, some of the best college movies, this is one of my favorite college movies, like, ever. Like I said, I've seen this countless times. I watch it like I rewatch it all the time. This is one of my favorite college movies. I think it's a I can't speak English. I think it's a super solid college movie, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about as much as maybe other movies from this era, other college movies from this era, and as much as other college movies in general. But I think it's a super solid college movie. It's a must watch. Like if you're a college student, watch this. That's the thing too, like just the like Coolidge College and just like all the parties that Van puts on and just like that atmosphere, like that's what I love about college movies. Like it's just like I feel like maybe if you like go away to school, college is like that, but I mean I'm currently in college right now. I go to like a commuter school, and I'm telling you, it's not like the movies whatsoever. Like there's there's cool stuff going on. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. I'm like a little bit older. I'm like working and going to school, just trying to get it done. But like, man, like these college movies, they make it look like crazy with like the biggest parties. I mean, of course, it's like Hollywood, so it's like fantasy, so that it's over the top. But like, I wonder if you go to like some big state school, if it really is like that. Like maybe not as much nowadays, but I mean, this movie just makes like Coolidge College was real. I would for surely be there, dude. I would be partying it up, having a good old time. I don't really party that much these days. I'm a older gentleman, but I mean maybe back a couple years ago I'd be partying it up at Coolidge. But I would sip a couple drinks. I would like I would hang a little bit, and then I'd be like, all right, it's 9:30. I gotta go to sleep. You know what I mean? I'm just playing, but I mean not really, honestly. Let me see here. What else I want to talk about? I'm gonna be honest. I know it's probably seemed like I've been rambling, but I pretty much touched on everything I wanted to touch on, except the last thing I want to talk about is that there's some fantastic quotes in this movie. One that I really liked, I wrote down here, and that's worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. I mean, I know, like, that's a solid quote, like that needs to be on a t-shirt or on like a Hallmark card or something. I don't know, cause like, I don't know about you all, but I'm like a big worrier. I need to work on it. Like that, like I could repeat that in my head. That could like help people. That's like a solid quote. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know this is just a movie, but like there's like a couple like nuggets of wisdom in some of these quotes here. I might sound crazy because I'm saying like, oh, there's some wisdom that can be found in this college comedy, but I mean, that's a good quote. I mean, am I wrong? It's solid. I mean, just all Van Wilder, like, in addition to the kind of like quotes about life, like just all Van Wilder's dialogue is like so witty and funny. Like like I forgot what the one girl's name was. It was like I can't even remember. But he's like, that's like I moan backwards, whatever. Like he was just always coming up with something witty, something funny. His dialogue was awesome. I mean, his character was awesome. The supporting characters, you got Taj, played by Cal Penn from the Harold and Kumar movies, and this was before the first Harold and Kumar, but I mean, Taj is super likable. He he's got a lot of heart. Like, he's like an exchange student. He's trying to get with the ladies. He becomes Van's assistant, even though Van eventually can't pay him. He's like, I gotta stick by your side. And then Van like eventually is down in the dumps, and he's gonna like give up and just not even finish school, and Taj is like setting him straight. He's like, you've done so much for this school, you inspire people. He's like, you're not gonna quit. Like, Taj is the man. I liked the love interest, Gwen, played by Tara Reid. She was super cool. Van's other friend was cool. He wasn't. I forgot what his name was. Like the dude with like the blonde hair and the earrings. He was cool. He didn't have as much to do as Taj, but I mean he was still likable. So, I mean, all the supporting cast was cool. All like the little one-off characters were cool. Like the guy who was always sick, and then the guy who was gonna like there was like a lot of familiar faces in addition to the people I named. Like you got the teacher from the Breakfast Club. He's a teacher in this, and he's, you know, kind of an a-hole like he is in the Breakfast Club. You got the one guy from Revenge of the Nerds. He's like a security guard. You got the guy who played Shermanator. He's in there for a little bit. He's like trying to jump off a building. So you got a lot of familiar faces. All these little one-off characters that like maybe they only have a couple scenes, or maybe they're just in for one scene. They're likable. They're memorable. Yeah, so I mean, I think the comedy's on point. The story, like I said, has more heart than people give it credit for, in my opinion. I always like feel good at the end of this movie, and because that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, Van is kind of like scared for the future, and that's why he's like putting off graduation, and you know he like proves it to himself that he can graduate and, you know, move on to the next step in his life, and he actually succeeds in all his classes. And then, like, you know, Gwen, who's writing this story about him, initially she was kind of writing like hit pieces on him, and then she writes a nice story about him. It's just like the ending is it's just fulfilling. It's happy. It just like really makes you feel good. I don't know. I feel like this movie has a lot of heart. Like I said, the characters are cool. It's super solid. I'm gonna wrap things up here in a second, but yeah, this movie's one of my faves. I watch it all the time. If you haven't seen it, 10 out of 10. I would 100% recommend this. It's just incredibly solid. I love it. But anyways, you know, that's all I really have to say about this movie. So I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you all for watching, and peace out.